Okay, here's the financial truth that most economic textbooks prefer to ignore. The United States did not become the richest superpower simply by inventing microchips or trading stocks on Wall Street. It built its empire on a far simpler and far more ruthless formula. It mastered the business of selling two specific things to every corner of the planet: the tools of war and the culture of cheap consumption. In practical terms, America built the greatest wealth engine in human history on weapons and fast food. To understand this, you have to look at the weapons industry first. The global arms trade is a multi-billion-dollar market, and the United States completely dominates it. America alone accounts for 42% of all major arms exports worldwide. That is more than the next four largest exporting nations combined. In a single recent year, American defense companies and the government authorized over $80 billion in foreign military sales. This is not charity or simple diplomacy. It is raw, high-margin commercial business. Companies like Lockheed Martin, RTX, General Dynamics, and Boeing are not just government contractors. They are global corporate giants that generate tens of billions of dollars every year by selling fighter jets, missile defense systems, and precision munitions. When a foreign nation buys an American weapon, it is not just buying a machine. It is signing up for a 40-year financial subscription. A modern fighter jet like the F-35 costs roughly $80 to $100 million up front, but that initial price tag is only 30% of the total money spent. The remaining 70% comes from decades of mandatory software upgrades, specialized maintenance, replacement parts, and training programs that only American engineers can provide. Once a nation integrates American military hardware into its defense strategy, it must send billions of dollars back to the United States every single year just to keep that equipment operational. It is the most profitable lock-in business model on Earth. While the defense industry extracts capital from foreign government budgets, an entirely different American industry extracts wealth from everyday citizens around the globe. This is the burger empire. Fast food is America's greatest export of culture, psychology, and corporate franchising. It took the standard diet of ordinary people across Europe, Asia, Latin America, and the Middle East and replaced it with standardized, high-calorie American food products. Take McDonald's as the ultimate example. With more than 40,000 restaurants in over 100 countries, McDonald's generates more than $25 billion in system-wide annual revenue. But beneath the surface, McDonald's is not really in the business of flipping patties. It is one of the world's largest real estate companies. The corporate headquarters in the United States buys or leases the prime commercial real estate in cities from Tokyo to London and then leases it back to local franchise owners at a significant markup, while also collecting a percentage of every single burger sold. When you add brands like Yum Brands, which owns KFC, Pizza Hut, and Taco Bell, alongside Burger King and Starbucks, you realize that billions of people hand over small amounts of cash every single day that eventually flow directly back into the American financial system. The global fast food market is valued at over $900 billion, and American corporate giants control the most lucrative slice of that entire pie. It is continuous, low-risk, recession-resistant revenue. Now consider how these two industries work together to create an unbeatable economic cycle. The connection between military weapons and fast food chains is not accidental. It is completely symbiotic. The United States spends nearly $900 billion a year on its defense budget to maintain hundreds of military bases across the globe and patrol the major maritime trade routes. Because the American Navy guarantees the safety of ocean shipping lanes, international trade can function without disruption. In exchange for this protection, the world adopted the United States dollar as the default global reserve currency. Global commodities, from crude oil to agricultural grain, are priced and settled in dollars. This gives American companies an immense, unfair advantage. A fast food conglomerate can expand into any country, set up supply chains, and convert its foreign earnings back into domestic profit without facing the catastrophic currency risks that cripple foreign competitors. At the same time, nations that rely on American security guarantees are heavily pressured to purchase American weapons and keep their markets open to American consumer brands. When a country buys American air defense systems, it signs agreements that open its doors to American trade agreements, corporate investments, and financial networks. The weapons secure the perimeter, and the consumer brands move in behind the wire. The genius of this twin-engine strategy is that it profits in every possible global scenario. In times of war and geopolitical crisis, demand for American weapons spikes, driving billions of dollars into American defense contractors and strengthening the dollar as a safe haven asset. In times of peace and global stability, global consumers spend more money at American fast food chains, coffee shops, and retail franchises, driving record corporate earnings and stock market gains. Every dollar generated from selling an air defense system to an ally or licensing a burger franchise in an emerging market eventually ends up in the same place. It flows into American commercial banks, gets invested in the New York financial markets, and is lent back to the United States government to fund further economic and military expansion. It is a completely self-sustaining financial loop that feeds on both destruction and consumption.